Okay, so for week 2, CC cycle 1, week 2 class recap. Let's see. We'll start with timeline. So we did 7 wonders. So you're doing like you're wondering something of the ancient world. Patriarchs of Israel. Hittites, Canaanites. So you have the little symbol of like the bull. Hittites, Canaanites, Cush. You make a K with your hand, a K sign. Assyrians, like you have a bow and arrow. Assyrians, Babylonians. So you do your hands like this. The L represents the law, and then this is like the book of the law or whatever. Babylonians. And then for China Shang Dynasty, you just point to your shoulders and to your hip, and that represents the buttons on their on the traditional Chinese clothing. So those were the hand motions we did for timeline. Preposition, we also had hand motions for English for our prepositions, and they were about, above, across, after, against. Sorry about the focus, it's going in and out, but what can you do? Okay. History, tell me about commandments 6 through 10. Thou shalt, hold up 6 fingers, not murder. 7, not commit adultery. So there are 2 people in a marriage. So we just went like not commit adultery. Not steal. Because if you take your thumbs away, it's hard to pick things up. That's just, they've proved me wrong. You can still do it. I understand. But it's just an easy way to remember. Not steal. It's 8 fingers. Not bear false witness. So you can pretend to like have your hand on the Bible and you're swearing an oath. So that's 9 fingers. Not bear false witness against thy neighbor. And for 10, not covet. You put on glasses or binoculars like you're trying to find something that you want. So not covet. Then, let's see. Okay, science. What are the kingdoms of living things? So I came up with this little story. And if you weren't in class, you didn't get to hear it. So now you get to hear it. So there was once a king who loved to take his dog for a walk. So he had an animal he would take for a walk. And every day when he'd go for a walk, he had a flower he'd put on his lapel, his jacket lapel. And he was just such a nice guy that he would wave at everybody. He was so fun. He would wave at everybody as he walked by. And one day on his walk with his animal and his flower, as he was waving at everybody, he came up on a protest. People were protesting. They had their signs, and they were protesting because the St. Louis Arch had bacteria all in it. So the reason I tell this story is because it goes along with the kingdoms of living things. I am super sorry. I'm going to try to stop moving. Maybe it'll stay focused. So the kingdoms of living things. So we talk about how it was a king that would go for a walk. So that's going to help the kids to remember the difference between classifications of living things, which we did on week 1, and kingdoms of living things, which is week 2. And that could be kind of confusing. So remember, king is for the kingdoms of living things. A king would walk. And so let me go ahead and tell you what they are. The kingdoms of living things are Animalia, Plantae, Fungi, Protista, Archaea, and Bacteria. So Animalia, we kind of patted our leg like we had a dog. The king was walking his dog, Animalia, and he always had a plant or a flower, so Plantae, in his lapel. So Animalia, Plantae, and he'd wave at everybody. He was a fun guy. And hang on 1 second, Lily. Wait right there. And he came up to a protest. So we think Protista, Animalia, Plantae, Fungi, Protista. And we just went over each one. After we added one, we went back over them. Just like this. And then the next one is Archaea. So the St. Louis Arch just makes us think Archaea. So Animalia, Plantae, Fungi, Protista, Archaea, and then Bacteria, all in the arch. So those were our domain kingdoms of living things. So Animalia, Plantae, Fungi, Protista, Archaea, Bacteria. Did I get them all? Animalia, Plantae, Fungi, Protista. Okay. So that's one way to help remember science, which was a little difficult, but the story I felt helped. Latin is the same as week 1, so you can go watch week 1's video if you need help with that. Multiplication tables. We do a lot with the songs because I think that's the way kids learn them really, really well. And let's see, what did we do specifically with math? I guess we just did the songs over and over. I can't remember exactly. So we did 3s and 4s. And then skip counting our 3s, skip counting our 4s. And geography is again the only thing that's left. So with geography, I'm sorry that it's backwards. Geography, we had Red Sea, and we decided it looked like a red crayon. My daughter also said she thinks it looks like a snake tongue, which are oftentimes red. So the Red Sea. Persian Gulf, we just went Persian Gulf because it kind of has a little bump. Persian Gulf. The Caspian Sea it looks like a C there for Caspian Sea. The Black Sea, we said, looks like a black tennis shoe. So we went with the Black Sea there. And then Babylon, we didn't come up with anything special for Babylon, but the kids seem to remember it is located on the Euphrates River right there. And I think that's all of, that's all of geography. So for review, we did 4 corners. So we just had pieces of paper up in each corner, different colors. I'd close my eyes. I'd all run to one corner, and whatever color I called out, they had to answer the review question, and they seem to really like that. So we'll probably revisit that again either in the second quarter or next semester. So that was week 2.